Hello, everybody. It's Steph Norbury here from the Amusement Network. And today I am joined by Helena Rudd, who is the Marketing Director, of course, at Bob Rudd Leisure, and my first lady guest. Hello, Helena. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. So exciting.
Absolutely. And Helena, tell me, how's business been over the last couple of years? Where are you at?
Well, obviously the pandemic hit everybody, didn't it? So it certainly hit us, but it gave us as directors a chance to step back a little bit and assess the business as a whole and see where we needed to pivot. And obviously we had about 140 employees at that time, so there was a huge thing in the back of our heads to say we need to make sure there's a job for these people to come back to, no matter how long this pandemic goes on for. We were very aware of that, and we decided that actually, rather than cutting back on expenditure when things opened up, it was our time to really spend quite a lot, put quite a lot of capital into digital machines.
Right.
We were thinking hospitality in itself has recovered. People still want to go to a pub. There's still a place for a pub, a bar. And so we were like, right, let's make the most of it because we can. So we did significantly invest in digital. We're now just below 80% digital across our estate. And that has seen a great impact in averages and customer profits across the board. So we were really happy with that. Also, in terms of what happened since the pandemic, obviously, a lot of people don't carry cash anymore.
Yeah,
I think that's something that people notice in all sectors. So we significantly invested in our own contactless solution. We have got a little technical team up here in Newcastle who worked really hard on coming up with a solution, for example, for pool tables where if there aren't any mains leads available for the pool table, we've got a wall box option which talks to the pool table, so we can still offer contactless solutions for every venue. We've seen that made a huge, significant impact on pool profits because pool tables have been so popular since the reopening, which again, I think is just to do with people wanting to play something social and not on their own. So yeah, we're really positive about that. I would say we also looked at the digital estate and getting it connected to make it online. So we now have a large majority of our digital estate is connected and online, and we're now able to get data from it that we were never able to get before. And something that Nick really thought about was like, well, we can get this data, but we need to use it in a meaningful way. What's the point in having all these reports that we can send to customers, we can send internally, if we're not doing actionable things from it? So we recently started a business intelligence team, and there's Angela, Etty and Francis all in that little team, and they get all the data and they put it into this fantastic dashboard, and they actually can give us meaningful actions from it, both operationally and at a customer level.
It's so important, isn't it? Because we've all had that with data. You know, you want someone to explain it to you and show you the trends and show you what direction you're moving in with it.
Exactly. And we obviously we're not data analysts ourselves, so it's like we don't have those expertise. But if a data analyst such as Francis or Etty is saying to us, look, we can see this trend is happening, then we can be like, right, well, I know what actions I need to put in place from that. And we're also, the tool that we're using for this software has machine learning within it. So obviously the more data we're putting into this, the better quality of results we're getting from it. So it's a really exciting time, but obviously we're trying to make sure everything that's all the transitions that are happening in the industry, they're a benefit to us or our customers.
Totally. So with all of these changes, all of these events that have been happening, really, you've got now better decision-making powers, really, because you can see right away in real time what's happening in your business, I suppose.
Yes, and how each department interacts with another as well. So decisions we make over here, how it affects over here. And I think that's necessary just to make a more efficient business overall, and making sure that people aren't we've got machines to do a lot of the boring things, if you like, and then let's use the people for their skills that they have rather than just for inputting data, for example.
Yeah, exactly that. And obviously we've got the issue of increased energy costs. I mean, I've been reading that operations are looking at sort of 40% increase in costs and things like. How has that had a knock-on effect on your business?
So obviously we've got the 6 depots nationally. So as you can imagine, big warehouses and offices, as in terms of our costs, they've increased. We do obviously procurement wise, we are trying to cut those costs as much as possible. And we certainly haven't passed any of those costs on to our customers. What we have tried to do is actually help our customers in ways of trying to encourage them to promote their spaces as warm spaces for their community. Especially in the winter months when heating was the issue. We have a system called the Infinite system, which has digital advertising on. So we created a number of templates for people to put on in their venue to say, we're open these hours, it's warm, we've got the heating on, come in, have a cup of tea. It doesn't need to be a beer at 10 a.m, but it can be a beer at 10 a.m. if you want. And we were really trying to promote that and say, there's a lot of people who can't afford to put their heating on all day in their homes, so use that to encourage them to come in, and that has worked quite well. As I say, now the summer's come, it's less at the forefront, but it will only be a few months until we're back in that issue again. So certainly just trying to help customers and understand that we're all sort of in this together.
What a lovely idea, great initiative. I think it's about community, isn't it, really, and encouraging that. And you mentioned before about the pool tables, this desire that we have now to socialize in groups, to play in groups. Competitive socializing seems to be now a trend that we're all talking about. This is something that you have promoted for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do in this sphere?
Yeah, so certainly for me, I'm like, well, this is nothing new, because I would say for the last 6 or 7 years, we've been trying to hammer home to venues that you need to offer more than food and drink. There has to be another pull. So obviously you've got the likes of things like shuffleboard, but to us, that's a very high cost, big capital outlay, big footprint for a venue. So we sort of say, well, instead of thinking I need a shuffleboard, why don't you think, well, actually I could do something with my pool table? Or rather than having a traditional darts board, I could have an electronic darts board, something to get people in and get people playing together. We've certainly seen where we've encouraged increased pool table play, with whether that's helping people with a pool table knockout, or introducing contactless to a pool table, we actually also see the gaming machine income rises. So as people, if it's not their turn or they're waiting their turn, they're also having a turn on the gaming machine. So that's a little bit, that's been a positive result. But I would also say for certainly city centre bars, trying to attract like the work crowd, so the people who are socializing after work or are on a work night out, there needs to be something extra. For example, we took the team, when we were down in London last, we took them to clay target shooting, which was just a way of us doing something fun, bit of team bonding, but also it was having a few drinks, it was having a bit of food, but you're not all sat down at a table only able to talk to the person next to you. So, but obviously that doesn't necessarily translate to a community venue, which is a bit more rural. So again, we use our Infinite system to help venues create a real dedicated rhythm of the week. So they've got, right, on a Tuesday, it's karaoke. On a Thursday, it's a quiz. Now, it might be an interactive quiz where people can answer on their mobile phone. So it's a bit more like in this century. And the idea being that needs to be a consistent offering, that people they go with their friends. I mean, it's nothing new. I don't even think the products need to be something new. I just think it needs to be consistent.
Well, and it's the taking the pressure off the site by automating some of these aspects, I suppose,
Yeah.
is a great attraction.
Definitely. We as I say, a lot of our products, the more hands-off publican has to be with them, the better.
Yeah.
But also you do need a site buy-in for them to work.
Yeah.
They need to know how the system works themselves, and they do need to promote it to a certain degree. But the increase, not only revenue from the actual product itself, the gaming product, but the increase in wet and dry sales from encouraging people to come in is massive.
Yes, yes, exactly. So it's a lot of work that you're doing then, I can see, to showcase what is possible to these publicans and say, this is, you know, we've got this, we've done this, and these are the figures, I imagine.
We do a lot of case study work and a lot of initial hand holding with initiatives until a publican can understand how they run it themselves, especially with, for example, like the interactive mobile quizzes and things like that, which are a fairly new concept. And it is technology, and we do a lot of step-by-steps with that, but you can see the results. I mean, we ran one with Punch Taverns a few months ago, and they were over the moon with the results just from a little local northeast sort of it was a linked quiz, so each pub plays one another all at the same time, so you get like a winner of the northeast, for example, which is a bit different to your person who holds a microphone and just does it in-house.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. How have you found recruiting staff in recent years? Because this is a story that we keep on hearing, that it's really difficult to find good people.
Yes, I think everyone's in the same boat, like you say. I think since COVID, the world of work has shifted for a lot of people. Obviously, we do have the same issues where a lot of people want to work from home, for example, which unfortunately for a field technician just isn't possible. And we do have those sort of barriers. We just recently, I'd say 4 or 5 months ago, employed a new people director, James. So he joined us from a global company. And he's brought a lot of his expertise in, and he's made some great changes in our recruitment process, in our recruitment selection. We really want people who want to be here. They want their career to be with us. There's plenty of progression options. And we've realized that we are a family-run, family-owned business, and we want to keep that family feel, but we are now a large organization, and we have to keep up with that as well, and we have to offer the benefits to people that they expect now. So I think it's quite an exciting time, certainly here, but that doesn't mean we don't still have the struggles of, oh, we need someone to fill that position in the shift system, for example. But James is certainly trying his best.
Yes, he's got his work cut out for him, but I think it's a great thing to have a dedicated person working on that, because recruiting talent is such an important aspect of the business these days. So, and how to finish up, really, how confident do you feel about the future, you know, about looking forward as we are, you know, with coming out of obviously come out of the pandemic, and with cost of living, how do you feel about the future for Bob Rudd?
We have a very positive outlook on it, because we've overcome the pandemic. We're in the cost of living. It's still very positive results. People still want to go out. Yes, there's extra work, but there's always going to be extra work, and we have to sort of look 10 steps ahead at what's coming. Certainly as well with technology, I think with more machines getting connected, with contactless and cashless solutions now being available, that's a huge thing for our industry. And it's something that people are adopting. We do have a lot of play on contactless, for example. So we're very positive about it. We would certainly say that the industry as a whole is in a healthy position. I think maybe a few years ago, you might be thinking, oh, gaming machines, are people going to start taking those out? There's always going to be a place for gaming machines. It might not be the gaming machine you currently see now, but there will always be a place for that. in venues where people get together. So we're very positive about that. As I mentioned, the data side of things is something we're really trying to be hot on and make sure that we're at the top of our game, because that is a huge benefit. If we can get that working correctly, which we are in the process of, that could really revolutionize things for us.
Yes.
And for our customers, because nobody wants to be looking at reams of reports, but they certainly would love something to tell them, well, actually, if you did this, you could get X, Y, and Z. So
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's very positive personally, but it's hard work. But I think everywhere it's hard work.
I think unfortunately that is the case, but no, to be able to make informed decisions rather than having a gut feeling, which is how the business used to be run, is essential to growth. And it's very impressive to hear how much work you've done in that sphere. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Helena, for joining.
Well, thank you.
Fascinating.